Hey, Dr. Josh Lum, how are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great. So things are starting to open back up, getting regathered, which is awesome. But we still want to take care of each other, understanding that people can still get sick, and we want to do that wisely. So I figured I'd have you kind of advise us on how to do that. What's it looking like as far as a second wave coming? Are we expecting that? What are we looking for here?
We are expecting a second surge at some point in time, especially as we kind of decrease all of the social distancing and quarantining. And so because of that, because we're expecting a second surge, we want to just take it in phases, take it slowly. That way we don't kind of overwhelm the hospital system.
Okay. So then is there anything new to add to our list of precautions, or is it a lot of wash your hands, try not to touch your face, don't be, smooching each other with the kiss of greeting, things like that? Anything else we need to be aware of as we go?
Those are kind of the main things. So when you're out in public, wearing a mask, staying at 6 feet apart, because that's about how far the droplets can travel. Mm-hmm. We've got to make sure we wash our hands as frequently as possible, not touching our faces, and so not really eating food when we're all together. Mm-hmm. Definitely trying to avoid lots of hugs and kisses and a lot of handshakes as much as possible.
So the potluck and the square dance are canceled for this Sunday. I'm sorry about that. Nothing we could do.
And then, anyone who's really high risk, all of my patients, I'm recommending just continue to stay home and be as socially distant as possible. Anyone who's high risk, so we're looking at any kind of lung disease, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, any kind of cancer, any immunosuppression, and including age is a factor in that. Anyone over 65, I think if you're over 70, it's like 5 to 12% mortality rate. Once you get to like 80, it's 15 to like 20% mortality rate.
Okay.
So, and part of it too is we want to protect all of our high risk people in our community. Mm-hmm. And so even though like you and I are very healthy, we could be asymptomatic carriers and not know it. And we could come into contact with someone else who's also appears very healthy, but they happen to be taking care of someone who's high risk at home.
Sure.
And so we don't want to pass it to them. So that's kind of why we really want to clamp down hard on all of the rules in keeping everybody healthy.
Yeah. And so just so you guys hear this again from a pastoral voice, it's a good thing to stay home if you need to stay home, right? Like, yes. Go ahead and do that. There's no pressure to get back and gather. But as these things become more and more possible, we still want to do it wisely, understanding that we need to take care of folks. How about kids, babies? I mean, there's a risk on the upper age and
yes.
bracket. How about the younger?
So as far as we can tell so far, still kind of getting more research, but for the coronavirus, definitely elderly are high risk. Kind of in the middle, adults will tend to get sick, but it tends not to be as bad unless you got another risk factor going on. Okay. For kids, it doesn't hit them as hard, and it tends not to even hit them. If they do get coronavirus and it does become severe, it's usually those who are less than 1 year of age that end up getting a very severe infection.
Okay.
And then there's also this new multi-inflammatory system syndrome that's kind of going on right now. It's kind of like Kawasaki's. We're still getting a lot more information about that, but that tends to hit those, usually the older kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But if you got a kid has a fever for 5 days or more, just go straight to the hospital.
Okay, great. Anything else that we need to know to gather wisely?
No, I think the plan that you laid out was excellent.
Okay.
Just washing our hands, wearing masks, keeping the 6 feet apart, especially when we're singing, and trying to avoid any kind of contact, no food. If you're able to check to see if you have a fever before coming, that's definitely helpful. And if you have a fever or any kind of symptoms at all, just stay home.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but have you seen anything fun or special or interesting that God has been doing with your patients, insofar as you can let us know about that kind of thing, or just from your perspective in the medical community, how do you see God being active throughout all of this?
So a lot of my Christian patients that are married, this has really helped their marriage. I've had, 10 different patients in the last week tell me, we've been stuck at home.
Yeah.
It's been great for our marriage. We've been growing closer together. We've been reading our Bibles together. It's been fantastic.
How about that?
And I've had quite a few other patients. It's kind of scary right now.
Yeah.
And so have been able to kind of share the gospel with them. So it's been pretty cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for doing what you do. We sure appreciate you being out in the community and helping people physically, and also, just being understanding that we have a God who's in charge of some stuff, right?
Yes.
And he's doing something here, and we want to take care of people and also bring glory to Him. So you're positioned at a really cool spot, and I think all of our medical professionals and first responders are positioned at a cool spot to be able to address both of those things. So God bless you, man. I hope
thank you.
I hope you get a lot of fruit in that ministry that you're thrust into right now.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks for helping.
Yeah.